Alicia swallowed hard before speaking. I'm scared of losing myself, Aditi. What if I'm not ready for all the responsibilities? What if marriage changes me? What if I lose my freedom? Her voice cracked as she let out the fear that had been weighing her down. Aditi's eyes softened, though her words carried a sting. And you're realizing this now, Didi, she said quietly. I've been trying to make you understand for days. Tears slipped down Alicia's cheek as she nodded, regret overwhelming her. I should have listened to you. Aditi wrapped her hands around Alicia's shoulder gently. Forget everything, Didi. Arush is a good man. You both share the same passion, the same profession. It won't be as hard as you think. Marriage isn't as scary as it seems, especially when the guy is someone like him. Alicia clutched her hand, crying harder. You don't understand, Aditi. It's not about Arush. I know he's good. I know I love him, but Aditi cut her off firmly. No buts, you love him. He loves you. That's all that matters. Tomorrow is your big day, Didi. Please don't ruin it with doubts. Just sleep. Without letting Alicia argue further, Aditi eased her back onto the bed, stroking her hair softly. Everything will be fine. Good night. But Alicia couldn't sleep. Her sister's dismissal only made the ache inside worse. Tears slipped silently as she reached off her phone. If no one else understood her, at least he would. Her fingers trembled as she typed a message and hit the send. In the next room, Arav was already half asleep when Arush leaned him. I can't sleep. I'm going to the terrace for some fresh air, Arush whispered. Arush just hummed groggily, shifting in the bed, but Arush was already slipping out the door. His phone buzzed in his hand. It was a message from Alicia. It was early morning when Aditi was stirred awake by a loud knock on a bedroom door. Half asleep, she mumbled lazily, Didi, please go open the door. But there was no response. Another knock followed, louder this time. Irritated, Aditi sat up on her bed. Rubbing her eyes, she called out, Didi, open the door. But then stopped, realizing that Alicia wasn't even there beside her. With a small groan, she got up and opened the door herself. Standing there was her mother, who immediately brushed past her into the room. Her mother muttered under her breath, First one daughter careless, now the second one too. It's a wedding today and you two are still sleeping at night in the morning. She quickly searched the bathroom, then turned into Aditi frowning. Where is Alicia? Aditi froze. I don't know, she admitted confused. Her mother's eyes narrowed as she gave a light smack on Aditi's head. Then what do you know, Arey Ma, Aditi whined, holding her head. Then seeing her mother's worried face, she tried to reassure her. Don't worry, Ma, I'll find her. She must be around here somewhere. I'll take care of it. Her mother sighed, make it quick. With that, she left, leaving the weight of responsibility on Aditi's shoulder. Aditi hurriedly searched all around the palace, the garden, the terrace, the halls, but Alicia was nowhere to be found. Worried, she returned to her room and sat on the bed, her heart sinking. She remembered Alicia's words from last night and fear clenched her set. Didi, did you run away from the marriage? Aditi whispered to herself. No, that can't happen. Her eyes darted across the room, then suddenly stopped. On the dressing table lay a folded piece of paper. Her heart skipped a beat. Trembling, she picked it up and slowly unfolded it. It was a letter. Her worst fear come true as she read Alicia's handwriting. Dear Aditi, you remember our talk last night? I told you I don't want to get married, but you didn't listen. So I messaged Arush and found out he feels the same. He didn't want to marry either, but he couldn't say no because of family pressure. We realized we love each other, but we are not ready for marriage yet. We both have so many dreams left to chase. Maybe people will never understand, but you, Aditi, you will. Please take care of mine, Papa. I'm leaving with Arush to live our dreams. Don't hate us. I love you. Yours lovingly, Alicia. Tears welled in Aditi's eyes. No, Didi, please don't leave like this, she whispered brokenly. We could have found another way. Her hand shook as she clutched the letter. Panic filled her chest. What do I do now? The wedding, the guest, Ma? Oh God. Determined, she ran out of her room and went straight to Arav's door. Maybe he would know something. Maybe he could help. She knocked frantically. After a few moments, the door opened, revealing a sleepy, disheveled Arav. His hair was messy, his eyes half shut. But the moment he saw Aditi, his expression darkened, remembering the prank she had played on him last night. Without a word, Arav slammed the door in her face. Arav, Aditi whined, knocking again. Please open the door, it's urgent. Silence. Taking a deep breath, she leaned closer to the door and whispered, I think Alicia and Arush have ran away from the marriage. The door instantly swung open. Arav eyes widened. What? Aditi nodded nervously and handed him the letter with trembling hands. I found this on the table. They've really left, Arav. Arav snatched the letter, scanning it quickly. His face turned from shock to seriousness. We need to find them, he said firmly. I already searched the palace. They're not here. They must have gone to the airport, Aditi replied, her voice shaking. Arav grabbed her hand without hesitation. Then, let's go. Her heart skipped at the sudden contact. Butterflies fluttered in her stomach, even in this crisis. But Arav noticed her flustered face and raised a brow. Not the time for romance, Aditi. Her cheeks burned red as she looked down in embarrassment. They rushed out together, hand in hand, while relatives passing by whispered and exchanged suspicious looks. But Aditi didn't care. She knew the real storm was yet to come, when everyone discovered that the bride and the groom had run away. Aditi and Arav searched every corner of Jaipur airport for hours, their eyes scanning the bustling crowds, but Alicia and Arush were nowhere to be found. Exhausted and disheartened, they finally returned home only to be greeted by the piercing stares of their entire family. The silence broke when Aditi's father stepped forward, his voice heavy with suspicions and worry. Where have you two been, and where is Alicia and Arush? Aditi's lips trembled. She turned to Arav seeking reassurance. He gently squeezed her hand, silently telling her to be brave. Taking a deep breath, Aditi spoke, her voice soft but steady. Papa, we went to the airport. Didi and Jiju, they've run away. Her father's brows furrowed in disbelief. Run away? But why? Aditi hesitated for a moment, glancing at Arav before continuing. They left a letter. They weren't ready for the marriage. Gasps echoed through the room. Relatives began murmuring among themselves, disbelief clouding the air. Aditi's mother pressed a hand to her mouth, her eyes wide with shock. How could they do this? What will people say? Arav stepped forward, his tone calm yet firm. Right now, the most important thing is not what people will say. It's making sure they are safe. Aditi's father's face hardened with worry, but he nodded. You are right. We'll deal with the rest later. For now, we must find them. Hours passed and still there was no news of Alicia and Arush. With the wedding just 2 hours away and guests already arriving, whispers filled the air. Finally, Aditi's uncle pulled her father aside into a private room. It's the only way to save our family's reputation, her uncle said firmly. Let Aditi and Arav take their place in the wedding. Her father's eyes widened. What nonsense! How can I punish one daughter for the mistake of another? That's not fair. But her uncle pressed harder. Think about this shame. What will society say if the wedding fall apart? Her father shook his head firmly. No, I will not force Aditi into a marriage she doesn't want. Her happiness matters more than the reputation. But her uncle wouldn't relent. His tone grew harsh. You always give your daughters too much freedom. Look where it's gotten us. One run away from the wedding and the other, he sneered. The other is already being gossiped about for sneaking out of Arav's room this morning. Her father's eyes blazed. Enough! Watch your tongue. My daughter is my pride. The uncle smirked bitterly. Deny it all you want, but people saw. And if this wedding doesn't happen, it won't just ruin our reputation, it will destroy our business ties. With that, he stormed out. As her uncle left, he spotted Aditi standing in the hallway. Her eyes were glistening with tears. She had heard everything. Make your father understand, her uncle hissed, or we lose everything. Aditi's voice shook. I'll try, uncle. Better, he said coldly, walking away. Heartbroken, Aditi stepped into the room where her father sat, his shoulder heavy with grief. She rushed into his arms, sobbing. Sorry, Papa, because of me you have to hear such things. Her father's anger melted as he cupped her face gently. Don't cry, Betty. I know there's nothing between you and Arav, and it's not Alicia's fault either. It's mine for forcing her into marriage before she was ready. He pulled her close in a tight embrace. We'll fix this together. But when they broke apart, Aditi wiped her tears and whispered, Papa, tell uncle I'm ready to marry. Her father's eyes widened in shock. No, Aditi, you don't have to do this. I won't sacrifice you for reputation. But she shook her head firmly. Papa, you've always stood by us, gave us freedom, education, let me see the world. Can't I do much this for you now? If you can sacrifice for us, why can't I? It's not that simple, her father protested. You would have to marry someone you barely know. I know Arav, Papa, Aditi lied softly. And I like him. What the relatives saw is true. Her father's eyes softened, but disappointment lingered at the thought of her being in Arav's room. He sighed deeply. All right, he said finally. When Arav parents heard the news, they were stunned. His mother tried to convince him not to go through with it, but Arav, surprisingly calm, agreed. I'll marry her, he said simply. The announcement shocked even Aditi, but there was no time to dwell on it. Preparation resumed at lightning speed. As the wedding music played, Aditi entered in her bridal attire. Her heart pounding, she looked breathtaking, but her eyes shimmered with hidden sadness. Her dreams of traveling, of freedom, seemed to blur before her. Still, when she glanced at Arav, she felt her heart skip, hope, and fear intertwining. Arav too was conflicted. His heart raced as he saw her walking towards him. Radiant in red, she was beautiful beyond words, but doubt lingered in his chest. Could this sudden marriage really work? When their hands met during the rituals, both felt a spark. Their eyes locked, and in silent moment, they seemed to understand each other's fears and unspoken dreams. The wedding ended, but their story had just begun. After the ceremony, Aditi climbed the stairs, her heavy langar dragging. She paused before the door to their new shared room, but couldn't bring herself to enter. Her heart was too heavy. Instead, she walked up to the terrace and sat, hugging her knees under the starry sky. A gentle touch on her shoulder made her jump. She looked up. It was Arav, smiling softly. May I sit? She nodded. They sat in silence for a long time before she whispered, why didn't you run away too? He looked at her thoughtfully. You could have run away as well. My sister ran away. I had no choice. She admitted, her voice heavy. Well, Arav said gently, your sister wasn't alone in that decision. Silence fell again until he asked. She left to chase her dreams. What about you, Aditi? What's your dream? Her lips curved into a bittersweet smile. To travel the world? Arav's eyes softened. Then I promise I won't stand in the way of your dreams. Something is inside her bloomed at those words. She hesitantly reached for his hand. Maybe we can travel together. His smile was warm like sunlight breaking through clouds. Deal, but if we are traveling together, you have to keep up with my adventurous spirit. I want to see every corner of the world with you. She giggled despite herself. Fine, but no extreme sports. Except skydiving, he teased. She laughed, restraining his arms. We'll see about that. For now, let's just begin our own adventure. Ara squeezed her hand, his voice steady. Agreed. Our journey starts now.